Well, it's to preserve the culture, for one thing, the practices of that culture, which is the sign language. It allows deaf people to be a part of the conversation. It's the mother tongue of the land that we are on. So when you are saying reconciliation, when you are saying land acknowledgement, all this encompasses the language that 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 you are occupying or you are residing in. So in this area, it's the Blackfoot Confederacy. So that would be Blackfoot blood pagan, Southern pagan. This is our domain. This is our territory. We've been here for 16,000 years, from Edmonton to the Yellowstone, from Flathead Lake to Regina in Saskatchewan. There's a border day. Nitoqsunan, that's where we get our food. That's how we say my land, Nitoqsunan. And in sign language, it's where I put my spear here. That means this is my land. So Nitoqsunan. And the language is there. The animals understand that language, and the nature understands the language in that area, hey? And that's why it's important to reconnect with the land, not just verbally, not just out of respect for First Nations, but to connect to the land, whether you're native or from another country or you're First Nations. It's called respecting Mother Earth, respecting the people that occupied this land and took care of it for thousands of years. So that's why it's important to understand the language. It's another way of acknowledging who originally inhabited this area, to remind us that it's still their territory. Also, it's a way of connecting to the land. So you can feel at home here. So you feel that this is home now. You're not just a visitor, but you're home. And that's why it's important to learn the language, because if you don't learn the language, you don't really have a home. You may grow up in a house, but that's not home, a real home. It's just a dwelling that you live in, and you could be sentimental to it or not. Then you got another apartment, then you got another home, It's not someplace you grow up and stay and die there. It's not a home, right? So and then you come from another country, you're always comparing this country to where you came from. You're not really home. You're a visitor. And you're unsettled. And when you're unsettled, you're nervous and you're scared. And you don't know what's coming. You don't know where you're going next. So to have some stability and some roots, it's quite important to understand the cultures and the customs and the language. If I went to France, I'm expected to understand French. That's the language there. If I was in Germany, then it's German or Italian. Wherever you go, whatever the people speak in that country or in that particular area is the norm. So things were robbed from us. Everything was robbed from us. So when I'm saying the language is the culture, then the language should be the norm of the Blackfoot Confederacy. This should be the language spoken here. just like French is spoken in France or in Quebec, or English in England, or Danish in Denmark, you know, or Swedish or Norwegian. That you should speak the language of that area that you are in. Eh? So that's why people should understand Blackfoot.